Congratulations! You've made it to the end of the tour! How about a round of applause or something? Wow, this music's really loud. Hopefully you can hear me over this. Yeah, this is unscripted me. This is just live me. Well, not live, but just me recording going off whatever that guy wants. As you can very much obviously tell, this is the tier list part. I've been talking about, I've been tier listing every area in the game throughout the whole video, but I haven't really shown what the whole tier list is going to look like. So here's the special, what am I saying? Here's the special, last part of the tour, the bonus. This is the ending bonus game, I guess, something. There's probably a word I'm thinking of that's the right one. Anyways, yes, time to show my tier list. I mean, I've already kind of put down, I already put down like the order of every room. I haven't really necessarily decided to go in like F, E, D, C, or whatever the heck. So here's me live doing it now. Hopefully, is it too terrible to listen to? I think it's fine enough. Let me zoom into this a little bit. How do I? No, we're on to. Anyways, all right. So first room. Do I have it right here? Oops, I made a mistake. I knew I was going to make that mistake, and I did it anyways. First area at the very bottom is the crow's nest. This one is just, I don't know, it's like neat, I guess. It's a very unnecessary room, I guess, on the migrator. You gotta interact with Cannonball. Yar is there. A good old yar, but it's very much just like, what the f am I supposed to say about that? Ooh, I should not be saying that. I'm gonna get banned if I say that. But yeah, definitely going to the bottom part isn't horribly long. It's too long, then might make this a separate part. I'll see about that. Let's see, next on the list. Yes, this place. That's a web file. This won't work. Did I really actually put in a web file? Shoot. Okay, well, I'll be right back. Okay, so Windows doesn't exactly make it super clear what's a web file and what's not. It's just kind of listing them all in the folder as a bunch of image files. And Fire Alpaca kinda cannot use web files. I'm surprised I didn't put this on the bottom. It's the Everyday Phoning Facility. I get the point because it has like the cool little training thing. But God, it's kind of supposed to be boring, but like, why did you, I don't know, did they really need to add a purposefully boring area to the game? Especially while removing a cool area of the game, the sports shop, huh? We're becoming small. This is kind of small and crusty, but like, you already know what it is, right? Oh yeah, I guess I did explain why I'm doing this tier list in Fire Alpaca. It's because I think I have to resize every image if I want to do it. At least for them to all be in the same consistent size for Tier Maker, and there wasn't already, at least I couldn't find a pre-made one that was kind of the way I wanted to. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna use it, make one in Fire Alpaca. All right, let's see. Next one, this one. Okay, keep it a surprise until I load it up. I'm like, ah, yes, that one. And this is another web file, isn't it? Oh, did I forget this one? Oh, I forgot this one, I think. Oops! Alright, sorry, I was very unprepared with the folder I'm using these images for, apparently. This one, but for real this time. The boiler room! I like how they tend a lot of much higher quality than the tier list figure. I mean, these very small. The boiler room, it's again pretty boring. That's what I say about these first couple ones. To be fair, I could probably just go through these quickly. Next is the attic. Yeah. Wow, sure is an attic. I should probably maybe like place all these to the left. So I keep on moving them to the right, but it's like, would it be more efficient if I started them all left and then I push them to the right when I'm done organizing or something? I don't know. The attic sure is the attic of the ski lodge. It has a bunch of fine flora in it. Next is the seabed. I think officially it's called the underwater, which is like not really correct English. I don't think it's called the underwater, but it's just called underwater. But I like calling it the seabed because I don't know, it sounds a little cooler. Very cool idea of a room. It's very unique because it's, you know, it's the bottom of the ocean. But also it's the bottom of the ocean. No one is there. It's too hidden. I said it in the tour. Very cool room, but it's just kind of ruined because no one ever went here outside of when it was first released. Next, I guess these are going to the E tiers now, is the underwater pool. Or I think for I said in the video, the longest time it was just called the cave, but I mostly just referenced it as the underwater pool because it's like, why is the cave is a very vague name. The vague cave. I guess it's kind of very similar to the seabed, where cool concept of a room, not really visited very often. It's a little bit higher than the underwater area because, I mean, it was easy to access too. It was connected straight from the plaza there, man. Also, occasionally there'd be a few people here. Also, this room actually got decorated. I don't think the seabed ever got decorated once. I already forgot. I mean, I talked about that. I know for a fact that every single room I mentioned at least something about how they decorated them for parties. But I don't think they ever decorated the seabed. I kind of forget if they did or not. Next is the hidden lake. I don't think I even intended to put all these like underwater areas grouped together. I mean, it makes sense. They're all kind of the same general idea of just like, oh, this is kind of neat. It's like an underground area with water, but it's not visited too often. I think I ranked this place a bit higher than the others because it's probably the most interesting. The image I realize is kind of badly cropped and stuff, but whatever, you get the idea. It's probably the coolest one with all the treasure and all that. It's up to get a little bit visited because it's connected directly to the forest, and it got occasionally decorated. Very little though. I don't think as much as the underground pool. Next is the dojo courtyard. I kind of feel like this shouldn't be grouped with E and F. I might reorganize this a little bit because this kind of like, well, I mean, it's just kind of like the central hub for the dojo. I skimmed through this super fast because like I kind of wanted to explain the history of the dojo, but the dojo kind of has a weird history where originally you only were on the inside part. So I kind of didn't really explain it until I already went inside. I just sort of jumped right into it because no one, again, like no one hangs out on the outside of the dojo. You're just here just to walk straight in. But it feels a little bit like maybe it should be ranked higher, but nah, I don't know. Like, just because there were penguins there, but they didn't do anything. Alright, next is the dock. I feel like this is definitely like a jump. Like, the dock as plain, it is a super plain room. But as plain as it is, this was a pretty like regularly visited place penguins hang out. Like I mentioned in the video, it was like the rare penguin hangout, which I never actually really, like I do remember rare penguins hanging out, or like rare penguins, it's kind of weird to describe that. I think that's how they call themselves, rare penguins. They just, penguins that they literally just hung out to flex. It's like, hey, I have a bunch of rare stuff, aren't I cool? I didn't really hang out with those much, which maybe for the best part, maybe it's kind of egotistical people. I think the dock should probably go in a little bit higher. D tier almost sounds kind of mean, but also like the dock is like very plain. It's one of like one of the main iconic rooms of Club Penguin. That pretty much always got decorated for parties. One of the oldest classic rooms. It's very, I kind of don't like. I do this again. Leaves a lot of room for penguins. For party decorations. I don't hate the plainness that much, but also like it's still plain. Next is the beach, which, yeah, I didn't really realize it. It makes a lot of sense. It's ranked right next to the dock. It's very similar. Like, I don't know, like, this wasn't really too much of a hangout spot. Like, not a lot of penguins, like, you'd see penguins here definitely, but it wasn't like a super, like, interesting spot. Especially, like, the, sorry about the chair creaking. I should try to avoid chair creaking. The cove is just, like, so much better than the beach. The beach feels pointless. You can't even go in the water. It wasn't really designed all that well to be as much of a cool hangout spot as the cove. So, sorry beach, you're going down here. Next is the dance lounge. I'm using the old design here. I may have been a bit mean on the newer designs. If I were to kind of explain too much into that, I feel like I'd be repeating too much, maybe. Which is I'm just very nostalgia biased to these old looks. So maybe my ranking is going a bit more. I feel like honestly, the newer design is better. It really is just better. I'm using just an image of the old design. Even then though, like, maybe, I don't know if my ranking would be higher. At least for the old version of the lounge. It's definitely kind of going down here. It's just kind of an area people are only there for the mini games. At least when the new one appeared, some people had played the little snowball mini game that was hard to get any good images of. It's a lot of stuff that's very hard to get good images of. Next is the beacon. Okay, two things. One, I don't know where the heck, like a PNG or anything, of a non-wide version of this place went. Let me, like, crop out the sides here so it's more of a square. I actually kind of question my own stuff why I decided to rank the beacon, like, above some of these other places. Like, I mean, it's better than the beach, actually. Like, this is the third thing I ranked. I'm like, I guess I was more thinking about, like, oh, well, it's a cooler thing. It's like, oh, you're up on the beacon. I think I might retcon my own tiering. And since there's kind of an empty space here in the E tier, I think I'll have the Dojo Courtyard. The Dojo Courtyard, it's cooler, at least. Oh boy, what layers? I wasn't thinking of actually changing. There we go. This layer. You go on here. I'll keep the gap here. I'm lazy. Alright. Next is the recycling plant. Very elaborate. Not super, but kind of elaborate. It's like mechanical, sort of factory area of the island. Another one of those barely visited rooms. And I'm kind of debating on, like, I'm not really sure how much this makes it higher than the others, but these are just, I don't know. In general, these are all just kind of the same. I'd probably, if I was using the actual tier list maker, then I can adjust the size of each category. This is a very scuffed tier list. This is not a very professional YouTube tier. This is the most scuffed tier list I've seen, and I'm the one making it. Congratulations, me. But you know, this whole maybe I'll edit this image a bit. These are just like places kind of don't want to really visit tier list because that makes them kind of boring. Next is the migrator. Sort of another transitional. It's migrator's always, like, in every part of the migrator is unique because it kind of is not really like a main part of the main Club Penguin rooms, because these are sort of like a weird in and out type area. But they visited regularly enough. I think I'd consider as part of the tour. It isn't just like it's not a very specific party exclusive area, and you know, it's even on the island where there wasn't a party. So I think it counts well enough to be put down here. But yeah, this room, like, there was definitely penguins here, but I think they all went down there kind of here just to go straight down, like the Dojo Courtyard, where they're just to go inside. This is just the entrance, but it is a very cool design entrance because, you know, it's a big boat. And it's the home of Captain Rockhopper. pretty cool, right? Next is the VR room. Probably is the coolest of the rooms that are like never visited. Maybe you can see part 1 if you want to know details about this room. Very cool room, very little visited. I'll rank it right here. There we go, good spot. Next is the Ninja Hideout. Another one of those, just kind of entrance to the places people hang out more type rooms. We're going right here. Next is the Lodge, the Ski Lodge, good old classic. This one was definitely, I think this is the point where it's like, okay, now we're going a little bit higher up. This is towards now the middle. This is a pretty regularly visited room. Penguins who would play fine for stuff. It's just kind of a very plain, cozy, nice little room. It's got the fishing minigame. I like the fishing minigame. It's pretty good. Next is the captain's quarters, which I think is pretty. This was always like this was like a super popular room, just partially because it was like. 1 second, like scratching my ear. Sorry. I don't have an ear. I'm a penguin. What? Or I mean, I guess I do have ears. Whatever. This is a very popular room because it's sort of like a limited exclusivity room, and it's very, it's pretty similar to the Ski Lodge where it's like you'd hang out to play a mini game here. This being Treasure Hunt. Nice little treasure hunt mini game. Wow, sure is. Next is the Ship Hold. This was also a very popular room. Actually, I'm kind of surprised I ranked this. Well, yeah, pretty much very close to the captain's quarters. While that one was meant for playing treasure hunt together, this one's very popular for the shopping. The Rock Hopper's rare items. I think there would be a decent amount of like cheap, free items or whatever here. It's non-member items. At least are always very cool. Never really got into the membership stuff. I kind of didn't really want to. Next is the Mine Shack. This went through a lot of changes. This is kind of boring at first, but when they added in like the garden and stuff, I think it became a lot more fun. Penguins got together to garden. The popularity kind of dwindled afterwards, but it was pretty alright, honestly. Next is the mine itself. I'm actually kind of surprised this one isn't really ranked up higher. I mean, this is pretty much right, kind of in the average, but I feel like maybe this one I should have ranked a little bit higher because of how popular this room was. I mean, ranking this is sort of like the more popular it is, the higher it's ranked. But I mean, that's kind of what made them fun when you had other penguins to hang out with. Whatever, that's fine. I think I'm going to put this one a little bit higher. I think I should have maybe originally put a little higher. I'm retconning my own list. But, I already released parts 1 and 2 and everything. Next is the Ski Hill. Very similar vibe to Captain's Quarters and the Ski Lodge. It's sort of a minigame hub. Sled racing I like a lot more than the other minigames because sled racing is a bit more involved, a little bit of action and stuff. There's a bunch of different courses. Very classic minigame. Next is the Ski Village. Very classic spot. Very classic. Very popular. Kind of like the dock. This is sort of like, in a way, I feel like it's similar to the dock where it's like it's kind of popular, but also just kind of like a transitional area. I've been using that to describe rooms a lot, but I just kind of like the design and vibe of the Ski Village a lot better with the buildings. It's it's the tour guide hub or starting place or whatever. Not for me though, because I think the beach was a better place to start. Nice mountain view, and of course the sled racing place. Pretty comfy, pretty cozy, pretty good spot. Oh, the sports shop. Oh, I love you. To be as much as I hype up how much I love the sports shop, it's sort of like it's kind of more so an area I missed. If this was sort of an area that was like always in Club Penguin, then like it's just kind of like less popular. I guess I can see why they got rid of this place because it's so similar to the gift shop. But why would you replace it with a place that's objectively worse? What's the point of that? Maybe if I put bias aside, the rank would be a little bit lower. But it just really much reminds me of like old Club Penguin. And I like old Club Penguin because I'm old. Next is the pet shop. I may have been a bit mean on the redesign. I kind of focused maybe a bit too much on the negativity than the positivity. This pet shop, it's kind of forever cursed for me and a lot of penguins. Because the community. Otherwise, though, it's alright. I like the Puffles, but the Puffles, you know, they're all colorful. Everything at the Puffles is very colorful. The pet shop is a very colorful place, which I guess was that they're going for the redesign. Maybe I'll rate this a little bit lower. Yeah. Next is the book room. I realize this place is, you know, it's a lot like a library. Like, there's a lot of content, like an endless amount of content. Well, maybe not endless for the book room, but, you know, a lot of content to consume, but not really the place. I mean, there kind of is socializing aspects with Mancala. I've always liked Mancala a lot, but I feel like a lot of penguins and people are just like, well, what the heck is a Mancala? So I feel like I might like this game a little bit more than the average person, especially if I own a physical copy. But you know, why would I have? So I should play this game again physically sometime soon, because it's a fun little game. It's like human and penguin history. Next is the FBI HQ over here. The very FBI. I don't. You know, it's getting late. Maybe I should wait for tomorrow. But also, I kind of want to get through this. Oops. You are you go tier. Well, I mean, I think I may put you a little bit higher because you have the cool PSA missions. The room itself, I mean, it's kind of cool. Here, gift shop. All bias aside, it's pretty much a better sports shop, really. Ding. The ice rink slash stadium. I don't think it's really referred to as the stadium when it's in the ice rink form. But it just feels like a better, more broad name. I feel like could work for either of them. I'm not sure if an ice rink goes under the definition of a stadium, but I feel like it should. Very fun area to just kind of screw around in, I guess. Snow Forts, the ice rinks, just kind of screw around other penguin areas, and it's fun. I like it a pretty decent amount. Maybe this one goes a little bit higher over here. Alright, now we're in the dojos. You know, they're sort of like more of the minigame hub type areas, but like way better because it's ninjas, which is way cooler. Good cropped image. Water dojo being real out of the fire, and a normal dojo may or may not be from my experience with Karjitsu water. I mean, it's pretty sick, honestly. Like, I probably should go above the normal dojo because it's like on a big swinging rock with like waterfalls. Like, that's pretty sick. Next is the good old classic original dojo. Pretty much, I don't know what to say about this one. It's just like I already said about the water dojo. This one's just normal Karjitsu and it's a normal dojo. The last of the three dojos is the fire dojo. Probably the, well, I can't say it's the coolest. It's on a volcano. That's pretty awesome to me. It's kind of unfortunate of the three elements that this is the only one that I really got to ever play of the three different Karjitsus. I didn't really mention this. I mean, I kind of hinted at like, oh, those are all the dojos of this era. At least, yes, there was a Karjitsu Snow, if some people were confused. And there's probably some people kind of like, I imagine some people probably kind of wanted me to talk about Karjitsu Snow. And I kind of debated it, but I thought, I kind of know, it's like, that was added kind of like a couple years afterwards, after I stopped playing the game. So I never played Karjitsu Snow because they didn't release it until years afterwards. Didn't get to play Karjitsu Water because, you know, my computer couldn't run it. So Karjitsu Fire is the only one I really got to play. So this one kind of becomes my favorite at default. I did not mean to. You know what? You are becoming tilted because you're extra awesome or something. Next is good old nature itself of the forest. Like I said in the video, Club Penguin is full of wilderness, and this is kind of the spot where you get to hang out in the wilderness. It's like a camping site where it's like, ooh, you're out in the middle of the woods where there's no civilization, except it's a very civilized area of the woods here. It's a pretty safe area of the woods, all things considered. It's kind of a neat hangout spot. You know what I realized? I put in the cave mine. My tier list is a bit too organized to find something specific I was searching for. Oops. Can I just like? Well, there's no way I can do this. All right. Well, you know what? Oh, yes, it is right here. The cave mine. I realized I got that place confused with the original mine. Now is when I'm supposed to rank the cave mine. Now that we're much higher up, you know, kind of getting up to the best areas. So I guess I'll do the original now. Here it is. The it's pretty smooth ground for a mine, huh? How do they do that? It's kind of plain, so which is why it goes a bit down. It's like, here's the place to play Kart Surfer, and then later on the entrance to the cave mine. Not my fault. They made the names kind of confusing. Like, no wonder I got confused which is which. All right, the lighthouse, electric guitar. Very good spot. Definitely the one of the high tier areas. Very fun to hang out. Spot with the musical part of the island, as I talked about in part 1. I'm getting nostalgic for part 1 almost, thinking about the lighthouse. That is very weird. Next is the snow forts. Another very classic spot. I just realized this is an image without the clock. The cursed version of the snow forts I use here. One of the classic original Club Penguin rooms. It's a very fun screw around spot. Maybe I should have ranked this a bit higher, because I feel like it's one of the areas I hanged out the most. But I think that may have just been, it's just easier to like mess with other penguins by throwing snowballs at them than to actually socialize. Socializing is hard. Why do I like this game so much if it's about socializing? That's kind of weird. And next is the good old plaza. Good old number 2 silver spots. That, you know, that ain't so bad, you know, since you're a good old number 2 silver spot. You're not S, you're A. That very much describes it. You're going on top of the A here. You're doing your A game, but sadly you are not the town. Next is good old Con Street. I realize I may have put the plaza kind of in the shadow of the town. Wow, this image is very high quality. The very classic spot everybody knows from Club Penguin. Maybe the iceberg is a bit more well known, but I don't know. I feel like this is like the main Club Penguin spot, the most popular spot. It's so popular, you know, it's full of people spamming advertising their igloo, although I never thought about it that way. I just thought, yeah, just go ahead, just constantly talk about it's just filled with people and not actually talking about it. They're just advertising very igloo. Sometimes I think people would like actually hang out together, talk in the town. It kind of was an advertising place, and you know, I would do it myself. I'd make my own igloo parties, but you know, and linked to the actual igloo parties were very fun hangout spots. I don't really talk about igloos that much because it's sort of its own beast, but igloo parties are very good place, very good hangout spot. You are I guess you're an S tier town. The Cove, yeah, the Cove. Like after work, like talking about all the like underground places and stuff, like talking about like yeah, it's nice fresh water out in the sun, you know, at the beach. I love the Cove. It's it's a much way better designed beach where it's got these like logs to talk about like spooky stories around the campfire, go swimming. It was always a very popular place, despite being like kind of further off, like all the way off to the side. It always remained popular ever since it was added, and it also has a very good mini game. Going up in the S tier. All right, now we're on like the very top of the top here, pretty much. With the stage, the ever so changing stage, and they really put a lot of effort for having to update this place every month. Like, there's already several places that are update the new clothes every month. Actually, it's only the gift shop that was changed every month. So it's like they're changing like different clothes, completely different design. There's the script, and then also with the designs, there's a switch box that had to make it like super interactable with all these animations. Just props to the devs for the amount of effort they put in this stage. Very, very good job. Give you an applause. You know, all those seats for an applause. No one actually ever sat on the seats there. Ah, the coffee shop. Love the coffee shop. I just realized I think this image is from one of the later years of Club Penguin, judging by the color. Oh no, actually this is from my Club Penguin rewritten. Oops, kind of mean to not really give away, and I'm using images of Club Penguin rewritten, but it's kind of hard to find good quality images from the original game. So, oops. The coffee shop, very, very cozy, very, very popular hangout spot. This is definitely up there in the S tier. Very goob spot. I'm saying calling the goob, but like, you know what? If you're very props to you if I can describe you as goob though. Da 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 bum 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 ba-dum bum bum ba da 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 bum bum da da. All right, nightclub. Now I think this is around. I think we're on like the top 3. Yeah, like this is like really hard to say like what really is my favorite. At least I like this versus the next room coming up. Maybe I'd consider these even. They're both very good, very popular spots, and just areas I just like these last 3 areas I just hung out constantly all the time. This like very, very, very top tier. Like I've already put these rooms so up high. I'm gonna have to put it up here like this, beyond S tier, like whoosh, crazy. The pizza parlor. I feel like this might be like the fan favorite room among most penguins, and I don't blame them because it is very good room. It is very. I feel like it's a sort of a. It's similar to the nightclub, where both these extremely popular areas. The nightclub was just like the grooving and schmooving, the partying. The pizza parlor is kind of more the relaxing. So a very nice change of pace. You have your options on whether you want your grooving or schmooving, or if you want your very fancy pizza. And I've saved the best for last, which is something I didn't even mean to. Like I was like kind of when I actually got to the ice, where it's like, you know what? This is my favorite room. It's a very good spot to end off the tour on. Like I think it's easier to explain why I love this place so much. Like you kind of just heard when I talked about this place at the end of the tour, where you know I explain it a lot better there in a script than I can unscripted, but just perfect, beautiful, just absolutely amazing, so good. There we go. That's this is my Club Penguin tier list, and this was my Club Penguin tour. It's finally finished after a whole winter working on this series. It's very much of a learning experience for me. So there's a lot of work learning. So I don't really know how to end things unscripted, but very much thank you for watching this series. I'm very glad for any of you guys watching till the end. I don't really know how many people watch till the end, but you know what? For those who did, you are very poggers penguins, or not penguins, very poggers people in general. Goodbye. I hope you have a very good day, night, or morning, or birthday you so happen to be watching this on. Waddle on.